Hey guys, this is Harrison with Robert's Camera, and today we're taking a look at a lens that Fuji was very gracious enough to send to us. It's a very, I believe a full production copy of the 50mm f1. It's one that we've been kind of anxiously awaiting for a long time. And today I'm kind of using it in an unconventional sense. With a lens like this, you'd typically see it used in portrait photography, not so much landscape photography, but you know, with the world the way it is right now, it's kind of tough to get a model at the moment. So I really like using a 50mm for landscapes. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And I like playing with shallow depth of field with that and really gonna see what this thing can do for us. So we're here at Fort Benjamin Harrison State Park in Indianapolis. And like I said, we're here with an early copy of this lens, and I have been very excited to test this lens out because this is one that I've wanted to add to my arsenal of lenses for a while now, once I first heard rumors of this lens coming a few years ago. So because I am a little ridiculous, I actually already own 3 different 50mm lenses, and they all work with my Fuji system. They all do something a little different, but I wanted to see if this could be as good or better, or just be the holy grail of 50mm lenses and maybe replace what I've already got or add to it. Probably add to it if I like it, because why not? Everybody needs 4 50mm. 4. So what I'm really excited about this is actually for an F1, it's kind of lightweight. That actually has autofocus, because I don't think there's been another F1 lens that has autofocus since Canon's 50mm F1 full frame lens from, I think it was the 80s, probably the early EOS days or late EOS days of film. And to have one that's frankly a lot smaller and a lot more affordable at $14.99, $99 probably, it's considerably cheaper. So apparently I'm not the only one that had this idea, because there's a spot right here that is very cleared out that's not a path. But man, the light is just coming in here way too perfectly for me to not try to get this shot. And gonna definitely do this with this dope Fuji flip screen here. Hello there, bumblebees. And the light's just coming in here way too nice and just kissing these yellow wildflowers. And what the heck, we'll shoot it at f1 because we can. That is some bokeh-licious bokeh. That is falling off into nothing. This thing at f1 all day, because why not? But I wanted to stop it down a little bit and see what happens with the background and shapes and whatnot, see if it still holds up pretty well. And yeah, I think I'm gonna just run it through all the main stops and see what we can come up with here. Oh, and we just happen to have these pretty flowers here. And so let's see. So we are So walking in the woods here, we had a brief conversation off camera, just talking about how scientific we wanted to get with everything. And I mean, it's an F1 lens, so things like a Loca test or a chromatic aberration test, I don't really feel like matters that much with this lens. It's more about the characteristics of it and how the lens looks, the image quality and how it feels. So I feel like that's what we're gonna focus on more so than all that sciencey stuff. So I get this weird look in my eye when I see a shot and I just have to make a beeline for it, and I leave my cameraman chasing behind me. And so I just wanted to come down here and get this shot before the sun went behind the clouds. Thankfully, I think I've got it here. found a spot here where I wanted to test out kind of how my different 50 millimeters compare to this one. So I wanted to look at things like the glowiness and the out of focus rendition or the bokeh rendition, just as kind of a side by side between the 350 millimeters that I have with me at the moment. So found a spot here where I can test out some different aspects of image quality that I look for in a lens. And so we've got a tree with a lot of texture and then kind of a busy background that we can throw out of focus and see how a busy background is handled with my different lenses that I've got here. So I've actually got two different Fujinon lenses that are both autofocus, the 50mm F1 here, and then I've got the 50mm F2. And I've got an old Canon FD 55mm 1.2 that I have been in love with for a long time. I've used it at a lot of weddings, and because of the image quality that I get from that and the rendition I get from that, it's one of my favorite lenses. But I want to see how it compares to everything else. So here we are as the sun is setting on us at Fort Benjamin Harrison State Park. I just wanted to thank Fuji again one more time to give us the opportunity to have a hands-on and real-world testing with the 50mm F1, and very, very grateful to everyone at Fuji for letting us do that. And something else I wanted to touch on too, so with that brief comparison thing and whatnot that I did, I just really am appreciative for some of the manufacturers that are changing things up a little bit and kind of going back to more of an old school way of thinking where not everything does everything perfect 100% of the time, where they have different tools that do different jobs that excel in those areas and maybe aren't perfect in other areas. Now granted, I'm one of a handful of people that would use a portrait lens for landscapes, but I really like the look of it and I like the creative control that shallow depth of field gives me. And it certainly has a look to it. No, it's not perfect, but I like the look that it gives me, and yeah, it's gonna find a place in my camera cabinet for sure. Thanks again for joining us on this pretty beautiful late summer day, and we will see you guys the next time.